Hi, I'm Jason, and welcome back once again to For Yarn's Sake, where we're going to show you just how easy it's going to be to create your very own handmade crochet gifts. Make it unique, make it personal, and make it easy. And now if you've been following along through our whole set of tutorials here, you have got your swatch. And what do we do with it now? Well, today we're going to work on an edging for it, just to finish it off. And we're going to work on binding off our yarn and hiding our yarn tails, because nobody wants to see the yarn tail. Give it a nice finished look. And now today we're going to introduce a couple more tools to our arsenal, and they are going to be, one is your yarn needles. And you'll see they're quite a bit longer and thicker than normal needles, and the eyes of the needle are pretty big to poke your yarn through with these. And these two needles, this one right here has a blunt end, and this one here has a little bit more of a pointy end. If you can see how pointy that is, makes it a little bit easier to get through amigurumi dolls and stitches and stuff like that. And you'll also need a pair of scissors. Now let's get started. Take your swatch, insert your hook, and pull it down. And now instead of continuing on with more rows, we're just going to chain up one. And I like to start just right here in the first stitch. And what we're going to do is put 3 single crochets right in that stitch. I know, 3 in one stitch. That's 1, 2, and 3. And that just kind of makes a turning corner edge. And now you're just going to, this is where there's no rhyme or reason to this. You just have to crochet down through each of the stitches, and the taller stitches here are going to get to a couple more single crochets than others. Just find where it's going to go through for your project, and eyeball in your best judgment, because it's your project. And there's 2, and keep going down through, and you want to make sure you're going through the stitch, not in any gaps or anything. It's or that'll expand the hole open, and it'll look a little wonky. And just keep going down and down. And the edges take a little bit more time than the tops and the bottoms, just simply because there's no defined stitch holes on the edges, and you have to work it in and work your hook through the stitches, and make it going all the way down. And this edging is just going to give a nice, simple, finished look to the entire piece. And here we coming down to our next corner. And here it is. And on this corner, once again, we're just going to put 3 single crochets down through there. And if you're having trouble with the single crochet, feel free to click back onto pause this video. Just click right on back to our single crochet video and get a little refresher and come on back. And then you'll see here's the bottom edge, and that's that finished edge that we did when we started by turning the chain over is going to be working to our advantage now, because now there are more clearly defined spaces for us to crochet through. And here we go all the way down the edge. As you can see, this doesn't take very long at all, and it adds adds so much to your project. Just gives it that clean edge, that professional look there. And here we are coming to our next corner, and we're going to go ahead and put 3 single crochets again into the corner, just in the same place. Okay, and now here you have a yarn tail, and this is what I do to go ahead and hide this tail. And you take your tail and just lay it down on the edge, and you want to go through your stitch, and then around the tail as well, and just keep going down through the stitch and around the tail. Hook popped out there, and that will secure that tail in place. so we don't have to worry about it later. It's a little time-saving cheat there to hide some of your tails, especially if you're doing an edging around your project. It's a good way to do that, and you don't have to go all the way down with it. Just take and put a few in, and then once you got it secure, just move it off to the side. And then we'll worry about trimming it later. And then just keep going all the way down. As you can see, this doesn't really take all that much time, but we're going to go ahead and pause here, and I'll finish this up. You finish yours up, and we'll come back and we'll learn how to tie this off and finish this off. Okay, and we're back, and I've made it all the way around. Did you make it all the way around? If not, that's the magic of the pause button. Go ahead and pause it and finish up. Rewind it, you get to where you need to be. But right now, I'm just ready to go into my last stitch. And here is that first stitch that we put in, right there. Can you see that? What we're going to do is connect the last stitch to the first stitch. And we're going to do that with a slip stitch. And the slip stitch is just a stitch that moves the yarn over or helps you bind it off. So just go ahead and insert your hook through, grab, pull through, and now you're going to have 2 loops on the hook. Now instead of yarning over and pulling through like you would a double crochet, you're just going to take that loop and pull it straight through. And now you've finished off. And this is what you got. A nice little swatch with a nice little edge around it. Well, now what are we going to do? Now we're going to take our scissors and give yourself a nice little bit of tail. I mean, don't go too crazy. Some people cut a crazy tail for themselves. I don't feel that's necessary. It's just a waste of yarn. And just snip it off. And now take your hook and pull it straight through. And it's as simple as that. You just pull it tight. And sometimes, if you'd like, you can take and insert through a hook. And I like to pull through a loop like that. And then just give it another little knot. This is my special little knot technique. And go ahead and pull it close. And now it's double knotted there. And now that knot's not going anywhere. That's not going to unravel there. So take then your yarn needle. And once again, I like my pointy yarn needle. I have the blunt one, but I like the pointy yarn needle. And just thread it through the needle like you would any other needle. Although it's a lot easier to thread a yarn through a yarn needle than thread through a thread needle. And here's what we're going to do. Just take your needle and you remember how on a last video we spun this open, and you can see all the little threads that make up this yarn. You see that? Well, what we're going to do with this, and we're going to take this yarn, and we're going to pick a spot. I'm going to pick a spot here on the edge, and I'm just going to take and poke my yarn or poke my needle through those little itty bitty bits. Okay, just catch a few like that. Okay. And you can see it's not through the whole yarn, it's just through several of the strands from each stitch. And then just pull it through. You don't want to pull it too tight or it's going to deform your project. All right? And then just take and go back the other way and take and go through several more, not the same strands, not the same location, but just different strands in the same spot. And then go ahead and pull it through, and that's 2. And then once again, we're going to go through again and just go ahead and pick that up again and poke it through and pull it down. And now you've made several points, so it's very unlikely that that's going to work itself out. Okay? So now we just take our scissors and being very careful just to cut your tail and nothing else. Snip it off. And then take your other tail here that you hid earlier and snip it off. And you're done. You've made a little square. Now, this can serve as just your basic learning tool here, and you can refer back to it, or, maybe you got a little dishcloth, or, whatever. It's a little blanket for a dollhouse, or, what you can do with it is just endless, you know. And once again, thanks for joining us. On our next video, we're going to go over some of the basic terminology for crochet and some of the hooks and hook sizes. I'll give you a little tour of all of my crochet tools and gadgets that I have, and how useful they are. And we hope to see you back in there again. Go ahead and leave a like down below if this helped you out. Comments. Love to see what you're working on. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.